Netrunner players, and welcome to the 2025 Netrunner World Championship. My name is Andrej,
My name is Cranked.
and thanks so much for tuning in. We are just beginning a super exciting day here at the Dovecot Studios. Since 1912, this tapestry, what is the word? I practiced this.
Tapestry Studio.
We have about 400 Netrunner players here just filing in across multiple rooms. It's such a beautiful place. We're off to begin quite a journey.
Oh, yes. I have no idea what to expect. It should be a very exciting event. Lots of Netrunner players crammed into the studio, and anything could happen. Anything could happen today.
Yes, and to set the stage today, we have 11 rounds. This is a longer tournament. In fact, one of the biggest world championships we've ever had. Here in Edinburgh, about 400 players, I believe, have registered. And we're looking at 11 rounds of single-sided Swiss today. And then there's a graduated cut of 3 more players, or 3 more rounds of single-sided Swiss on Sunday. So today, if you're following, players who have the chance to play tomorrow, they need about 21 points, I believe, is the cutoff.
That is correct. 21 points is the expected cutoff for day 2.
Which is about 7 wins across 11 rounds. And I do not know what to say. Having 400 players go down to a top 16 is probably one of the tightest top 16s we've ever seen in organized Netrunner play.
Easily, since maybe 2018 at Magnum Opus, all the way back when.
Yeah, 3-day events are back. This has been phenomenal. Welcome to Edinburgh. We're just about to start. Jeff has finished off his opening speeches. We have people fighting their tables, and we still don't know exactly what the meta looks like, but I can tell you one thing. I've talked to a lot of people today, and I've talked to a lot of people this whole weekend, and I don't think I felt like more people have said this year that they don't know what they're doing compared to any other year.
Almost to a 1. Every player I've talked to has had some sort of doubt, some sort of just fear about their own decks, what they're going to be bringing. No one seems confident.
No one seems confident.
The meta's a real Wild West. We've only had one major tournament since the 25.10 ban list. There's some expectations for what might be good, but it's unlike last year where there was maybe a couple of consensus best decks in the format, or at least perceived best decks in the format. That does not seem to be the case this year.
Yes, not entirely obvious what we're doing. If we can set the stage a bit for what we expect. So if you're watching at home, firstly, shout outs in the chat. Things we're expecting. LEO is probably, my guess, going to be the most represented corporation. And if you look at it a couple months ago, that was an ID that not a lot of people played confidently. There was some concerns about playing to time. I don't think that's going to be a real problem today, but LEO construction, that HB new agenda from Elevation, or sorry, new identity from Elevation, is going to be doing a lot of work.
And speaking of new identities from Elevation, Ayuko, still an ever-present, that egg, uncracked as of yet. While eating a few bans in the form of Sting, the egg is as strong as ever, and I would be very surprised if we didn't see some top players just maintaining their own comfort pick that have been grinding it all season.
Yeah, quarter egg top cut I think is a pretty safe bet. So we'll see. Again, another really interesting thing is a lot of these identities that were really powerful out of the gate when Elevation came out. People have had so much time to learn the play patterns, to figure the stuff out. And so now the way that people are playing against it, it's up to the corporation to push problems that they're not aware of. Because we're used to it now. The Oppo Ayuko, the scoring Ayukos, fast events Ayukos, these are now kind of known quantities. I think that's actually a big part today on the corporation side is the unknown, the gotcha deck. I think, are we expecting combo op to be a thing? Because that's the mystery.
I think we will. Combo op made a bit of a splash at EMEA Continentals. It is an extremely linear deck, which is very, very good for a tournament of this length where you really just have to memorize your own combo lines, and there's only really a couple to memorize. Whether or not it can play through hate is a bit of an open question, but I absolutely think we're going to see something unexpected on op.
Yes. I think we already got a repair.
Oh. Reset the clock. Reset the board, everyone.
Roll it back. We hear cheers and groans from outside. But if we get our first repair out on round 1, I think that's a good time to get it
you'd rather have it now than at round 8 or 9. Yeah. So, what do you expect on runner side, Andre?
Yeah, runner side, I'm interested if there's some unknown out there. But we've seen a lot of consistent good stuff over the last couple months, if not the whole year. Probably going to be the most represented. I think there's a chance that this tournament might be the first time we see more Moosely Hot players than Sable players.
Agreed. I think Moosely Hot is very much a comfort pick. It's a bit easier to pick up.
I think so.
Than Sable. Sable is can occasionally have some non-intuitive lines, whereas Moosely Hot is very, very standard. You know, take your free Moosely Hot draw most of the time and play your dolls, make your run events, access cards and win, right? Sounds easy. So yeah, Moosely Hot I expect to be the most represented runner, followed maybe by Sable. Personally, I expect Anarch to have quite the showing as well.
Yeah.
Hoshiko has been good for years now, right? I can't remember a time where Hoshiko was bad. And people feel very comfortable on that ID after all these years. But then Shaper as well, I think will be a factor this year. Shaper
for sure.
recently getting Creative Commission back from the ban list.
Yes, that's a big deal. Creative Commission, I even think we're going to see it in Hoshiko. I actually like that card a heck of a lot.
Yeah, me too.
But there's a lot of Shaper lists, and some of them seem a bit interchangeable. I was playing yesterday the Devadata drones, kind of like Send It Girls decks. Those are a lot of fun. Those can be like a very, I think, a nice way to attack the meta, and it's, I think, a bit simpler to play if there's less moving pieces. Otherwise, we have Lat decks, we have Madani decks. The console choice is actually really interesting on the Shaper side, more than any other faction, kind of by a country mile. It's really interesting to see which one you want to build.
Anacom, Madani, those are usually the big ones. Lilypad as well. Very playable Lilypad. And we haven't even mentioned Magdalene. Magdalene, really strong identity. It'd be really curious to see if anyone brought Magdalene today.
I think we're going to see it. And you know what? The other big thing that this on the runner side I think we need to talk about is Matryoshka.
Yes.
This is the dolls meta. And so for those unfamiliar, this neutral stacking 6 per deck, if you'd like, this is AI Breaker, can break all types of ice. And it turns out this card's actually better than you might have expected.
The numbers are great on Matryoshka.
You don't have to sweat it. 6 deck slots is what you expect for breakers, and you just need 1 breaker. About 13 cards you need to draw, and then you're able to get through at least 1 ice per turn, which for certain decks, that's a real strength.
But Dolls comes with downsides as well. Real downsides. You have ice in the form of things like Simoxamoon that just wall you out if you're on Dolls with no Fractor. You have things like Hammer, which make your life very, very miserable if you happen to only have Dolls up.
It's a problem.
Even something like the humble Virtual Service Agent.
Very good.
Will stick you with a tag just for having the audacity to run through it with breaking it only with Dolls. So there's counterplay to Dolls. Dolls is not necessarily the best thing you want to be doing. So the push and pull of, do I play Dolls? Do I play a quote unquote real breaker suite? Is a very interesting conundrum, both of which have their ups and downs.
I don't know if you saw, for the last couple of days, Jai was walking around with a small whiteboard, and one of the columns was like, is Dolls going to win Worlds? Is Dolls not going to win Worlds? Did you see that poll? And what do you think?
I heard about it, but I did not see it, nor did I make a bet.
Okay. Currently, the bet was swinging a bit towards no. My guess is that a lot of players that have Dolls in their deck want to undersell the sort of threat that they're representing, so they go to the no side. I'll be happy if Dolls doesn't win Worlds. I'll be honest. I like breakers that have more words on them, or they care about the words. But
if you had told me that Matryoshka was going to be like the breaker in a couple of years, I would have told you that you were like off your rocker.
It's wild.
I would not have believed you that Dolls was just going to be the best thing to do as far as your icebreaker solution. So I can't believe we're here, but we are. Welcome to Edinburgh.
Yeah, we're going to see it. The LEO matchup is interesting. You have a lot of things to worry about, and if someone has your number, you're going to be working a fair bit harder than the simplicity of just stacking 6 tall. Man, I was playing SES drone deployment yesterday. Just like the most fun.
Yeah, what a jump scare of an agenda to see. I remember tucking an SDS drone deployment in the bin against a Dolls player and asking it when it accessed it, how badly would you like this?
You can leave it.
How badly do you want 3 points today?
Yeah, if it crumbles, oh boy, does it crumble. Looks like people are filing out again. We're going to be starting round 1 in just a minute. Thanks so much for joining. We're across 3 different floors, which is kind of fascinating.
It is.
Both in terms of, like, it's a really nice space, but in terms of the logistics of it. It's about, I think we're just short of 400 players today.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Incredible. Last year at Worlds in San Francisco, we were maybe 200?
250 something, if memory serves, in the ballpark there.
I'm not sure. This year has been a fantastic year for Netrunner. If you're not following the narrative here, we have a massive rotation. This is the first Netrunner World Championship that's entirely only null single games cards.
Really exciting that we've gotten to this point. It's been a long time coming, and it's great to be here.
It's really accessible. Again, if you are watching and you see people playing with photocopies with black and white colors, proxies are allowed at every and encouraged at every level of play, which is really exciting. This card pool is also the smallest it's been in a really long time, and probably in about a decade. It's only about 550 cards, including runner and corpse side, just about, if I'm not mistaken. So while some people might be moaning the lack of choices, the lack of tech, I do think we're going to see a really colorful field.
Yeah, the interesting thing about a small card pool is, yes, your deck building selection is a bit more, I guess, restrained, you could say, but that makes the play patterns on the table that much more emphasized. The personal play patterns of your own deck, how well you know your own deck, and how well you can get to know your opponent's deck in the moment becomes emphasized.
Looks like we're just about to start. I think we have a table maybe pulling up. We're not 100% sure what we're going to be looking at today, but we do have people down there.
Anything you're hoping to see today, Andre?
Hoping to see today. I really want to see specialists play the decks that they're very good at. There's a couple players you can shout out that are known to be attached to something. Eden specifically.
Exactly who I was going to call out.
So Sebastian from the Tournament Initiative, or sorry, the Liberation Cycle. That's been very fascinating. Oh, thank you. We have some alt arts to look at. Sebastian has been a bit of an uphill fight, it seems. Thank you. In the last couple months or so, I think the LEO matchups have been a bit challenging. The Epiphany matchup, which we'll come back to that, is interesting. It can be a bit polarizing, but I think Seb is probably favored in that matchup. I don't have too many reps.
I would agree. I think the Leo matchup is very fascinating, and I could think about that for hours.
Yeah.
It feels to me, having played it a few times, that Seb basically gets about maybe 6 to 7 turns to do whatever he wants to do, and then the Leo squeeze starts to come online. And your accesses become much more fewer and far between, and you really start to see the downsides of a card like Audrey, right in the moment. But the push-pull between Leo throwing away its own ice and then you trying to use crew to blow it up proactively is really interesting, and I love watching it. It's one of my favorite matchups in the game at the moment. But Epiphany, I regret not talking about Epiphany a few minutes ago. Can we talk about Epiphany?
Epiphany is interesting, and I'm honestly don't believe that the consensus of players know what Epiphany can do or what Epiphany should even look like, which I don't mean to be, I say that with all love. We had the Showdown just a couple weeks ago. It was a massive online tournament, about 200 players, and Epiphany was like by far the deck to look at. While it wasn't well represented, there was a huge conversion rate. We saw Epiphany decks with like a 70% win rates, which was still really, really quite high for the field. And we saw players who were like Epiphany specialists at this point. While Warlock, I think, just picked up the deck for the event. I want to shout out, I played against Minstrel yesterday. Playing Epiphany, figured out what 5 cards to cut, scoring out aggressively from the top of the deck. Right? You don't touch the Holoman, it's Stoke. Next turn, it's a Stoke. Like, that deck, the problem that we saw over the last couple of weeks is that deck is struggling to close games out. And specifically talking to Minstrel said, like, knowing what I know now, playing the tournament that I did really well in a couple weeks ago, there were lines I missed. There's ways that I can go from 4 points to 7 in a turn in a way that's not incredibly interactive, as long as you can see it.
And we're seeing a lot of cards that went very underappreciated see life in Epiphany. Things like Freedom of Information, the cards like Stoke the Embers, even just the Epiphany ID. I think a lot of people, myself included, wrote off Epiphany a bit when it came out. Well, this is just weird, bad NEH.
Well, we had NEH back then.
Right, we had NEH, so it's like, why would I roll the dice in the top 3 cards of my deck when I could just have I could have the card on the table. But Epiphany finding its footing these days.
Yes. And I'm excited to see if we see it, because I do think people are trying to struggle right now to figure out if they want to be teching for LEO, if they want to be teching for that sort of Glacier, RH, Restoring Humanity Glacier. I think Jinteki Glacier is a real thing today as well. Or putting those slots into dealing with horizontal assets. And I do believe a couple weeks ago, the asset tech was removed, and Epiphany kind of went unchallenged.
Yeah, folks cut their Azimuths, they cut even their no free lunches, their Hannahs, and they regretted it immediately when the yellow bird hit the table.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that. I believe we're just about to start. Again, these are 40-minute rounds. Today is single-sided Swiss. So 11 rounds today. We are going to have a couple breaks throughout the day, but if you're just ready to watch a huge weekend of Netrunner. I don't know, in the next room. Production, can they hear Jeff's speech right now? We have a time.
We're underway.
Now.
We're underway. Here we go.
Should be underway in just a moment. The energy in this room is phenomenal. 400 about players from all over the world. Europe shows up when there's a World Series.
I love it. I love it. As somebody who flew across an ocean, yourself included, yes, I love seeing so many. The electricity, I could feel it when folks started flowing in to the main room here.
People are nervous. Again, people are not confident today, which is such a strange thing to say.
I think it'll be interesting seeing how the confidence levels ebb and flow across the days as we start to see what decks perform well under pressure and what decks maybe crumble a bit.
Yeah. Round 1. I believe we're off. We should be able to jump straight to our table. Welcome to round 1 at Netrunner World Championship 2025 in Edinburgh. On the left, we have Ashley playing Glue, and our game is underway. On the right side, that is Cepholopod Wizard, one of our head rules folks at No Signal Games, playing Op. So we might see something as soon as combo Op, as soon as game 1.
Yes, absolutely. Op, really, the cool thing about Op is until they start showing you cards, you have no idea what it could be. Op can contain multitudes of strategies, and you really need to start accessing cards before you have really any shot of figuring out what they're doing.
Looks like we're installing. I think that might have been a Kimberlite Field.
It looked like it may have been a Kimberlite Field. Now that would be an interesting inclusion from Cepholopod Wizard.
Ceph has been playing. So yesterday we played against Ceph's team, and Ceph specifically went out of the way to play cards that people didn't know the rules text. So we might see some readers here. Other side of the table, Ashley ripping 6 through with the Gachapon. So one of these cards will be installed if it's a virtual or program. So Botchless is a really good install, especially because we're doing this on the end of the corpse turn. So Botchless with 2 counters will challenge almost every ice you're expecting here in the op deck, barring Envelopment, which is not incredibly popular. We'll see if it's a Fly Swatter. That's a nice purge. So we're going to be throwing Cookbook back in here and a Pinhole, and then we're going to remove from game a couple events.
Op usually quite hostile to what Loup wants to be doing. Its propensity for trashing its own cards does not make it a very good home for things like Botulus and other Trojans that Loup tends to rely on. Loup tends to run fairly lean as far as breakers, usually just Botulus, Audrey, maybe a Rising Tide for the aforementioned Semaximun.
Yeah, hosting stuff is difficult. Op does want to move stuff around. If you're not familiar with that boat, it has a lot of text on it. The short and the long is, once per turn when you trash something that's rezzed, you can go get something from your deck that costs 1 less. There's a popular Magic the Gathering card that you can insert here, but this is going down, not up, and yet that's somehow still the most fascinating corporation you can play in a standard format.
I think it's one of the most fun things you can do in that runner.
It's fun.
Op is so fun to play, to think about, but be warned, I hope you like shuffling.
Second counter there is going to be on start of turn, so your remote server, my guess here, we're going to find out very quickly, but it would look like it's, it is an
Envelopment.
So that's the perfect res there. It has 5 subroutines, 4 of them ending the run. The last one does trash the ice, so it looks like Ashley's just going to have to bounce off of that. That's a really hard thing to deal with early. Does have a shelf life, though. Every turn loses one of its subroutines, as much as Op doesn't mind when where a piece of ice.
Certainly, yeah. Turning your Envelopment into something like a Winchester's, that's a great deal.
Yeah. So Antil is kind of your read here. That's the economy asset, new card from Elevation, very, very powerful. That's 5 credits and 2 card draw. Sealskin draws in, we have more setup. Now we have a lot of these cards that might be a bit too slow for the matchup. Buffer Drive, Ashen Epilogue.
I believe we saw Chisel at the end of Ashley's hand as well.
I'm assuming we'll see Devil Charms and other ways to destroy ice. Second Gachapon, diving deep into the machine, Paladin Puemo, she comes out for free. See what we shuffle back there.
Yeah, losing the Lago is interesting here.
Yeah. Nuka, installing a gaining 1. Love that interaction. Really cute. Companion synergy, especially if you don't pay money for your Paladin Puemo. Now, still not closer to challenging the deck, but while this Gachapon, it does see a lot of cards. It does put stuff on the table. It does thin your deck if you want to consider that pseudo card draw. It's a really nice setup to get to by, I think, turn 2 probably on the runner side.
Now, Loup at the end of the day is an engine deck. Really needs to kind of get the party started with something like, Buffer Drive's a good thing to find early. Usually a one-of in these decks. And pretty critical with a card like Audrey. There's a virus.
We're just purging here. That should purge the Botchless. We need to remember that. There you go. Counter's coming off. And this is being done probably at the end of the runner's turn to go get a 2-coster. So we'll see if it's just the Regolith, empty Regolith. We do have some economy issues, and Regolith Mining License, Gateway Classic, going to hit the table there. We'll see how many credits Ceph takes off of this. Specifically, if you empty it as well, it does trash itself, so you can get a 1-coster from your deck. Whether that's a simple Tithe or a Malapert Data Vault, you have a lot of options here.
Humanoid Resource is also a popular option these days as well.
Very cool.
Very
powerful card. Yeah, we'll see how we use this Buffer Drive. We don't really have any way to fire it. We don't have Audrey, we don't have the Lagu, so I don't love paying 3 credits when it doesn't actually push you forward in a game state that you need to contest with. So we need to see how much value you can extract from this in the next couple turns. Cepholopod just took the money, took 9 credits. We're going to pass back Cascadia. 2025, the boat says. Quite nice. Drawn up hand, doesn't do much. A bit of multi-axis. We do finally have the Lagu for some basically free card draw with Buffer, as long as cards are going into remote servers.
Winning in hand as well. That's going to be your late game card.
Credit. Have the Lagu stack. Stacking those 2 together, they do work really well together if you're worried about losing cards.
It's like a drug.
Yeah. So still 3 subroutines, 2 of them ending the run, which means next turn Ashley can charge that remote server. We will force the Envelopment to be trashed, which maybe that's okay. Take 3, take 3. We're gonna get a 1-coster out of our deck here. We'll see if it's a humanoid. It's not super safe. But I'm not 100% sure what you're getting here besides a Tithe or a Malapert, or if it is the humanoid.
Tithe.
The hands, they come protecting HQ. We do need to watch out, of course. It's been a couple turns. Cepholopod hasn't scored out just yet, and the remote server doesn't look like a scoring server, so you might want to hunker down and protect HQ for the next couple turns until you can stabilize. But we'll see how our runner here does put the pressure on.
Yeah, it's curious to see Ob choosing to protect HQ. Could be a tell here. Ob has a tendency to thin out its own deck just by virtue of tutoring so frequently.
Yeah,
often R&D is the server to heavily defend.
And there's a lag trigger when a card's installed in a remote server. It's very easy as a corporation to forget this, but in theory, this is something that interrupts your actions. We trashed on the top, I think it was a Paladin on the bottom, and drew into, it looks like a Fermenter, I might be mistaken. So still here, no way to crack the server. I guess you can just run. You can just run and let it trash. Force the op here, see whatever 4-coster ends the run. My guess is Tree Line is the only thing you're expecting to stop the run on 4. I don't think you're worried about Stavka with no programs. Shylender's not real.
Winchester not going to do anything on the remote server.
20's coming down, so now we're not going to use the Paladin Puemo credits to install that because we want to keep those credits to charge the twinning. Oh,
hold on.
Super and rewind. Draw first, get some options. That's good if you want to play a economy card. Are we only down to 3 credits here?
Paladin money going to be doing a bit of carrying here, especially if there's a Fermenter on the way. The Devil shall appear.
So you gain a credit, gain a twinning charge. This is what the KQ engines do. I think it's a console on Anarch we're going to be seeing the most today, is my guess.
I would agree.
It's sometimes hard to rely, and we saw that with viruses, with a deck that's probably running multiple viruses there. But Spin Doctor, at the end of the runner's turn, to get some options, we're shuffling back immediately. Looks like it was a virus and I think a Sure Gamble that was played on turn 1.
Yeah, Hedge Fund.
Oh, Hedge Fund, excuse me, yeah.
Keiko is especially critical for Lou as well. Lou really MU hungry, having to play things like Audrey, Bachelai typically sitting on the board for a while. And then as well, we've seen Chisel in Ashley's hand, which if played the honest way, also sits there on the board and takes up MU.
I'd be surprised to see the honest way, but yeah.
I would too.
Yeah, in this format though, we just don't have a genuine virus console, which usually in standard there's some console that like has the word virus written on it.
Shout out to Nobkiri.
Shout out to Nobkiri. Remote server, interrupt there, Botchless now on the bottom of the deck. We're going to be drawing our next card for free. Looks like it's a cookbook. That is Lou's thing. Double install. Again, those are click checkers. Those are not advancement counters. That's just Seth's way of telling you what's happened this turn. We've made a clown car.
We do have a clown car.
I do not know what to expect that is in the car of clowns.
You called out Malapert, certainly popular in Obdex, even just as a target at the 1 cost slot.
Tucana.
Hollowman, Tucana is a great shout as well.
Yakov has shown up in standard somewhat consistently.
Yes, yeah, just as a money engine.
Yep.
Books are cooked.
When you start cooking now, the viruses are twice as powerful. Going to get the credit, get the twinning counter. I think we missed 2 twinning counters so far. Oof. You definitely want your multi-access.
Seth gave him 1, I think, but I don't know where it happened to go to.
Yeah, we might have lost it at this point, but we should be 2 counters in.
Ooh, a virus.
Charging for Purge, so it looks like the development is going to stop here. This will be done on approach. You can only res cards on approach, so we're going to be purging. So now this Botchless is down to 0 counters, so that's single end the run on the development. It's shelf life, and it ends next turn.
And Cephalopod's going to end up with an extra, I would assume, a piece of ice out of the deal.
Yeah.
But could also threaten something like Hollowman if he wants to be cheeky.
Go for the Fly Swatter, get the double Purge action.
Insult to injury.
Yeah, looks like there is
Yakov.
Feet are up on a table. You know it's a Wayland card, so Cephal's just reading the text here. Whatever card's trashed, you're going to get 2 credits. And it's if the runner does it or if the corp does it. So it's just going to be free money, especially if you expect your envelopment to go. If you want to trash a virus to purge.
Yeah, I hear Lou likes trashing cards.
Yeah, Lou likes it. Now, it's only this server. It's not protecting the whole board, but it's an interesting economy piece that always feels kind of bad to challenge on the runner side. Ashley, down to 5 credits, but Paladin keeping him afloat. The pressure on the twinning, I think we are lacking the counters, but I wonder how much fear there is of face checking into a Stavka. You lose your 2 viruses, but it's not that bad.
No, not that bad on this board state.
Especially with simul chips, right? There we go. Paladin again, we charge it, trashing the Botchless to recycle the Botchless.
Yeah, or flicker the Botchless gets you in.
And now with 2 counters, we can make sure the envelopment stays alive, which sometimes you do want to do.
Ooh, Zato City Grid.
Oh no, so unfortunately the paid abilities were kind of rushed through there. Seth has the option to do this at instant speed on approach. So in theory, we haven't broken anything yet. We just kind of did it a bit too fast.
Yeah, Zato gives the ice an on-encounter ability to trash it to resolve the subroutine, which is also going to deal with the
Now, I don't know what this does for you, because you don't have a server. The question is whether there's a click left. But unless you can now get ice on the server or empty it,
all done.
In theory,
I think that may have been last click. That's what it does for you.
Yeah. That's actually a really weird timing window, right? Because if the runner does the simul chip first, you respond with the Zato. So if they do it on encounter, you can't do this. You have to be very clear, but it's an IZF. Zato getting trashed, going to get 2 credits, going to do 2 meat damage, going to get a 2-coster. Very weird timing on that run. I think both players had to be very clear what they were doing, because there was a way that actually worked out for the runner. Kessleroid?
Kessleroid, oh man.
Chisel proof.
Chisel proof. And the best part is I don't think Seth knows that Chisel's sitting in Ashley's hand at the moment.
No idea. I would not expect it. There's usually a bit of ice destruction, whether it's crew or chisel, but yeah, that's just going to go good enough here. We're going to take 2 cards. There's
There's
chisel.
one.
And a steel skin.
Seth got to be pretty chuffed seeing that Chisel hit the bin. Ah, nice try.
Drawing up. We're going to bottom as well. That steel skin will be coming back later. I don't expect any shuffle effects. Maybe one more Gachapon.
Yeah, that would be the most likely, I would think.
But now Seth is not putting off any pressure here, so Ashley does have some time to rebuild. And the remote board state, if we can find a Fractor, not honestly that great. Maybe there's a one of Rising Tide just so we have a maximum plan. Race off the top. We have Nuka. Only legal target there you really want to do.
Yeah, not really keen to install over your own Keiko. Pinhole back to the bottom off buffer drive.
So Nuka has a fair bit of card draw. You see the splash in basically every faction. Another Chisel in hand, another Ashen in hand.
I will draw, click 2.
Cookbook, not a great draw here as a unique card.
It's a hit point. Audrey food.
Speaking of food, Gourmand is here.
Ooh, that's Lou's best friend these days.
Yeah,
The
speaking of
little
Lou,
chef
he hasn't
that
fired. I
could.
totally forgot we're playing a Lou deck here. We need
Yeah.
to touch cards. We need to trash
Yes,
cards.
yeah, Lou needs to get in. Not charging R&D could come back to bite Ashley, but we'll see. So far, hasn't been too bad.
Actually realizing I haven't put my twinning counters on. I think we're at least 2 short.
Okay.
Oh, Seth.
Seth,
Technically, you're meant to
Good.
call a judge here, but that's
Yes.
very kind. Devil Charm, that'll be the 3rd counter coming in. Or it looks like we'll just do the 2nd on the rewind. But now we have a bit of pressure here. So Devil Charm you're expecting. This card on its own, it could be a value piece, reducing the strength of ice. The bigger thing here, though, is with Chisel, you can blow up stuff at instant speed. There's almost no ice. In fact, this deck will have the 1 ice at 7 strength you might expect from Standard.
yes, Stavka.
Stavka, tier, you might see play.
Hey, you never know.
But 7 strength Stavka is the only thing you can deal with. Oh no, with Cookbook you're still fine, right?
Cookbook, you're fine. I guess triple advanced Pharaohs then.
Yeah, I guess so.
Seth's now starting to threaten out of that remote with the 1 advanced card.
I'm convinced that's a Kimberlite field. Which, say that goes through, what do you shoot? Are you shooting the twinning or are you shooting console?
You can shoot anything with the Kimberlite field,
It
correct?
has to be less cost or equal than what you've trashed.
Well, right now that's
There's
a
not a lot of
bit
options.
awkward
Yeah.
here. Honestly, Devil Charm I think should be a consideration.
That's interesting. We're going to be seeing a lot of cards in R&D there. Chisel's coming down, should have a virus counter. Now there's no ice they can keep out here besides exactly another Kessleroid. Seth is thinking about
It
it.
is Stavka.
Okay. So we got the counter there. So you can make this 2 strength, you can make this 7 strength. The cool thing about making 7 strength, even if you trash the tithe, you can go get a spin doctor, like
Right.
you can have some flexibility there. But I don't think you're too upset if here a Devil Charm is spent on a 2 strength stuff.
I think you're very, very keen on that.
Yeah. So we're considering this. We have no simul chip, we have no access to recursion, but this is currently a 1 strength Stavka. For Chisel to do its work, the ice has to be 0.
Devil Charm.
So we are Devil Charming it.
Trash it.
Very good trade actually for Seth.
Yeah.
Now access is here, we can see up to 3 cards.
When I do Chisel, do I actually pay for it?
I think we're trying to figure out whether we paid for the Chisel or not.
Pay for it.
We'll pay 2.
Okay. And that was 1 on twinning. Christ almighty, I'll just
Okay, we're at 4 twinning counters.
doing it for me.
I just lost my stuff.
Looks like 4 from where I'm sitting, so
Yeah.
more than likely going to be seeing 3 cards here off the top.
3 cards.
Most you can see. Off the top,
I
Vanguard.
will 1,
Ooh,
2,
Skunk Works.
3, trash that.
So Lou's going to be firing here. We're going to get a card and a credit. We're going to be seeing Deeper. Trashing on top of R&D. Never my favorite, but you can see Deeper later. That's another Yakov.
Left and stay.
One more card here is a
Hammer.
Hammer.
Yeah, I think that one's got to go. Hammer's pretty ugly for a lot of these Lou lists.
Is that a hammer or an anvil?
Oh, is it? You're right. It might be an anvil.
Yeah, very
You're right, it is
similar.
an
Yes, I think
anvil.
it's an anvil. Very cool card.
I haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah, really annoying and up. It's a grinder on both sides of the table. One of them
Yes.
pushes backwards, the other just pushes you out. So no hits there. Again, R&D is soft, and the more op removes cards from the deck, those cards have to be non-engended. So the density of R&D just gets worse and worse as the game accelerates. But Ashley here is thinking.
Deep in the tank here.
Twinning still having the charge. Top 2 of R&D are known. Sorry, top 1 of R&D is known. We're just going back, seeing
Ooh.
2 new cards.
One. Stays.
Yakov.
2. Steal.
That's an
SDS.
SDS.
Trust my fermenter for that.
Fermenter getting removed.
I steal.
Second one.
Regis
Ooh,
Red.
that one we can't touch.
God.
I wonder.
And what's really cool here is that if you score the Kimberlite, you can go get an op card, which means you can shuffle your
Shuffle.
deck.
Yeah, you shuffle that away.
And you know the top of the deck has to be the SDS, which stays. Paladin should get a credit here, but we're just going to be scoring out.
Kimberlite Field.
It is Kimberlite Field.
Yes. It's 4-2. We're going to be trashing a card to be trashing a card. And again, knowing the SDS is on top of the deck, you have some issues here.
I'll trash this Kessleroid.
Oh, Kessler, the only way you can trash it, really.
And ending up +2 off of the Yakov. Suddenly Cepholopod, not much of a board state anymore.
No.
There
sliding
goes
back into
Paladin.
the-
Interesting choice to go get Paladin rather than Cookbook.
I will search
Yeah, saying that the money is the problem here.
Yeah.
on R&D.
Eco doesn't matter. We're just going to get a tithe on RD and go for the shuffle here. So technically, you can still run in there. The thing is, how do you charge the twinning? How do you see multiple cards? How do you steal the SDSs? Which, now that you see Kimberlite, you're pretty sure that there's 3 SDSs in the deck. It looks like we're on some rig shooting with Zapto.
Yes. Now I believe Ashley's already down at least 1 simul chip, right?
I believe one was used
Okay.
to do the double botulus.
Cephalopod's got to be thrilled with every simul chip that hits the bin.
Now, you do have to remember, you can always, at instant speed, pop the buffer drive to put a card on top of your deck.
Oh,
if
yes.
you want to get the recursion angle. A lot of
Absolutely.
people miss that angle. It's a really cool angle.
And 3.
Okay, there's a Fencer Fueno. That's going to be good for getting the twinning charged again eventually.
Yeah, you're going to need to hit the board here. We're down to 8 credits. Whether you can now, with no breakers, just charge the Yakov and say, what are you going to do, spend money to keep me out?
3. Strike fund.
Strike fund.
3 credits.
Dropping the Fueno as well, gaining 3 credits from the strike fund. Not able to charge the twinning and gamble. Now we're up to a healthy, probably around 12 credits, 11 credits.
Mandatory draw.
Still not a lot of pressure. We know Ashley's hand. There is no way in there to get into remote servers, to get into central servers. We have an Audrey, but that Audrey needs counters. It'll come with 1.
Chisel.
Likely not good enough against a single ice either. We've already seen cards like Envelopment.
You see that that's very interesting. Ashley hit a chisel off of the Lagu, and instead of immediately buffer driving to the bottom, you want to consider it, because sometimes it's best to have the chisel in your
Yes,
bin.
yeah, sometimes for simul chip. Exactly.
It's often to be like auto resolve on JNet, just bottom everything. But
Right.
actually, you want to consider that sometimes. Some things are better in your bin. Seth going for install advance behind a single ice again. Unless you're worried about slash and burn or seamless launch, this could be the game-winning agenda.
Flower has been planted.
But 1 counter, feed me Seymour.
Gormans for next leg.
Romond as well.
Ramon a good hedge against an SDS as well.
Yep.
I'm gonna run.
We're going R&D here. It's
Do you
just
break
for
the tithe?
Single.
I'm gonna.
Again, the damage here is just a bit of tempo. You can't get cards on the bottom of your deck, but we're going to let it fire.
Yeah,
It's going to be a
especially
credit and a net damage.
with the buffer drive on the board. It's essentially just like if you had pumped Audrey, so not a big deal to take a net damage here, I don't think.
Worst hit here is probably the Nuka. That shouldn't matter, I don't think.
Yeah.
Bottoming in. That's exactly where you want it in theory.
I'll see just 1.
Single axis here. Gourmand might push us forward. It's a spin doctor.
Ooh.
You can trash it for credits, which is great.
2 credits.
This will give you Audrey your
Ooh.
second counter, so you should be in a good spot to charge remote. And it charges the twinning.
Yeah, that was a really good hit to see something with the trash cost.
Yeah, real proper trash cost.
Cookbook.
I think he missed the twinning.
May have missed the twinning though. Seth pointing to it. Oh, good guy, Cephalopod Wizard.
Audrey as well.
Okay, we got our counters there.
A lot of moving pieces in these Loup decks, so I don't blame our players
Yeah.
for missing a few triggers.
No, round 1, oh my god.
Yeah, the
yesterday.
nerves.
I'm knocking my deck over on my hand. It's a hard fix.
Charlotte Slim.
Actually, I think saying that this seems like a slim chance here, but the remote charge, and besides development, you're getting through most things. Audrey's cards for strength, fires counters for 2.
Correct. Cards for 3 strength, virus counters for 2 subroutines. Correct.
Yeah. So we actually can charge development and force it down to the worst.
That with the second counter, yes.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Mistakes happening.
Mistakes happen, we're running it, and it is development. We have enough counters to ruin this. And you can't get border control in the format. There's no way to keep it out unless there's a 4-cost asset or upgrade. But we should be stealing the agenda here.
Pump. Pump.
Double pump.
Break the.
Break 4 of those, the power
We got
counters.
the trash ice or trash subroutine fire.
Now we can go get a 4-coster, gain 2 credits off Yakov, but I don't think there's a way to keep you out of the server at this point.
Awful trigger.
Yeah.
I will search
Unless you have exactly something in the remote server you can install that costs 4, and I can't think of something in the format.
Okay, we're gonna go get the anvil.
I believe we're going to be on game point for both players. Anvil on R&D, but an advanced card in the remote server we're about to touch, and we're going to be able to get more Audrey counters. This is a really good run.
I will.
That spin dart at the top was huge.
Huge.
Trash it.
We're going to trash that one first.
$2.
And then I'll see the card use.
see a Kimberlite.
There's
There's
another
another Kimberlite
Gonna
field.
take that. So we're now 5-4. This twinning is getting more and more frightening.
Yeah.
Stream.
Gonna make sure, yeah, those are visible.
Your go.
Now Cephalopod's been reduced to no scoring server. While the credits are okay,
Nice, huge mistake.
Audrey should have a counter. I think that's actually a really big counter for Ashley to remember
Huge
here,
miss.
because that is exactly what you need to pressure a remote server. One counter is all you need to charge a Sandstone, a Kessleroid, any of the ice that you're expecting, especially with 2 envelopments gone.
Now I should point out, Ashley's sitting on only 7 credits, 3 cards in hand. Should Ashley be worried about measured response at this
I don't
point?
know.
Oh, I got
We've seen a
one
fair
on
few
that one,
cards.
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, good. We got the counter.
Okay.
I will upgrade HQ.
Upgrade HQ.
Cool.
Be Yakov.
I think there was one card that was seen. Yakov was known to be in hand and was drawn.
Correct, yeah.
Ah,
That's the read here. And with only one card in hand, Seth, if you're holding an agenda there,
2, 3.
you think
Pinhole.
empties? Pinhole also very good if you want to get those Audrey counters. Ashley now in a good spot here. All you need to do is figure out how to charge your twinning. Hopefully once a turn. We know 2 paladins are out, or more accurately, one's on the bottom of the deck, one's trashed. And so if you want a pinhole here, you can charge.
Pinhole threading.
Here he is.
We're gonna go for it. We'll see if you res this. You might as well.
Hollow Man.
Oh,
Hollow Man.
that's important.
At this point, I think you
Yes,
missed it.
Trying to figure out if you got the Fueno credit. You did, actually. That
You
is a new
also-
credit.
You trashed my Yakov last.
yeah, I did. So I would have used
Yeah.
it. So yeah, I used it right. So 1, 2.
So 1 and 2, we're trashing that.
Yeah,
Charging
yeah.
Cascade of triggers
Charging
here.
Counter,
Winning
get my Loup
here.
Counter, get my Loup draw.
Yeah. The twinning counter is the most important one here, unfortunately. Do we get it?
Audrey.
And the Audrey.
There's really nothing on R&D that's going to stop you. Anvil does not end the run.
Nope. Just gotta send something off the ship.
For the Fenko counter.
Now that being said, everything on Ashley's board is playing a role here. It's hard to say what would be the thing to throw away. Normally I'd say the Fencer Fueno, but you really need that at this point to continue charging your twinning.
I think these are the cookbook. You have another one,
Cookbook,
right?
yeah, Cookbook is probably the best hit here. Maybe the Lago.
Oh yeah, the logo out there, yeah. I don't care about Buffer Drive, do you? I don't like that guy.
Well, if you don't think the game's going to go that much longer, you can throw away Buffer Drive.
Got the Simon chip down, so now we have access to a lot of different things. Chisels, botuluses, you can even refresh the Audrey, and it'll come in with 1 counter for the cookbook, so you're actually safe to purge against certain knives.
Right. Frankly, blowing up the Anvil with a copy of Chisel sounds like a great move to me.
Seth is thinking here, definitely feeling a bit cornered. Losing the Holloman is really important. But the big thing here, unless you're playing Greenmail, which I'm kind of doubting, you need to score 2 agendas. If you do set up a safe spin doctor, sometimes you have access to the slash and burn angle, but I'm guessing the Kimberlite field is taking that sort of slot that slash and burn might have in these sort of lists.
Agreed. Yeah, there's only so much room for 4-2s.
So we'll see how we get out of this. Nice Zato could be a hard challenge, but Simultrip does usually beat that. Ashley thinking here. Again, I don't think he needs to exert that much pressure. While HQ is probably where you want to be running, as the agendas have nowhere to go if Seth draws them. You can just kind of set up for suffocation.
We don't have a great look at Cephalopod's hand
No.
either to see if anything's loaded.
Draw.
Now holding cards close to his chest.
15 minutes left in the round.
15 in the round, just been called out by the judge. You can
15 minutes
basically
left in
mostly
the
see it
round.
behind Ashley
15
on the camera.
minutes left in the
Otter
round.
is back in the party.
I don't know if we are on a second cycle of the deck here, or whether there's a third paladin, but that means the cards that are drawn here, you should have perfect information, but it seems like there's a lot of cards left.
There are a lot of cards left. Well, there's not been that much going into the remote, and many times Cephalopod is playing around Lago by bulk installing his cards in a remote server. You can only trigger once.
We do have the Gachapon down, we'll probably crack it at the end of Seth's turn here. We'll see what we're doing.
The Anvil? Yeah.
Extracting the Anvil, getting rid of it, getting 6 credits and looking for a 3-coster here.
I will search R&D.
I'm not sure what you're super excited about. Like, if you have a tech card, like a
A
Mavirus,
virus, okay. That's a good one.
Nice.
Ashley gives that a nice. You can play around this, though. You have to be very careful with the timing, though, because Simulchip, with your cookbook, you're in a good spot. Now, Purge at immediate speed to get a 2-coster. If there's another Holloman in the deck, you do have to play around that.
My Lego.
Final Lago, bottom, a Charm. That should be the final Charm.
See what went to hand? Oh, it looks like Botulus, okay.
The Botchus, yeah.
Cool.
Second upgrade here, so worst case. Sato into... I don't honestly know. Yakov is still unaccounted for.
Absolutely. We did see a Manigram Skunkworks earlier, though it did hit the bin. I
think it hit
don't
the bin,
believe
yeah.
it has been shuffled in, and I'd be surprised if there's influence for 2 copies.
Okay. One Paladin, one
Our turn triggers are going through here. Ashley can probably charge the
Potential on
server.
Pico.
Unless it's Hollow Man into a 5-3, Seth is probably not winning off this turn. We also still have a very soft R&D and a lot of twinning counters, so you have a lot of ways to attack here. I'm very interested to see where Ashley wants to put the pressure on. Cards in hand, a lot of cheap programs. A Gachapon was not fired. You can also use that in response, right? If Mavars purges, you just top rope for a botchless.
Right.
Especially if you're on the deck stack angle, which I'm not sure if we are.
Go in. Click
It's
one.
the remote.
Confident chop.
I'm going to.
For the stream players who chop, the best. Obvious what's going on.
A Maskarovka.
Maskarovka
Also, I'm going to.
and an immediate purge.
Purge virus counters.
Yes.
So that's going to get rid of the virus counters as much as we can bring them back. This barrier saw no play until, let me tell you, Elevation. Now it's one of the best barriers in the entire format.
100% agreed. And I think it's interesting that Seth is choosing to go get Descent and putting it on R&D. Do you think that's a tell that the remote is empty of agendas?
I think this is garbage. I think this is Yakov into something else. And it's not garbage because you still need to trash things to do Audrey. We're going to Audrey Flicker. So simul chip or simul chip, you need to put it back. You need to trash a card and you can return the card because we haven't trashed a thing. We're going to perfectly break through this.
I will
So
put this at the bottom using the push for drive because I have to use it for the first one.
over to the bottom.
The second card you installed first, unless you want to res anything.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
That's the game.
Game. I don't think I actually realized. Oh shit. Okay, I can relax.
Well played to both players.
Well
that was a cool one.
played. Yeah,
Love seeing
very
a card like
cool.
Kimberlite Field on stream. You don't see that one very often.
Yeah, as soon as you see the cards like that, you know like you're playing in maybe uncharted territories and you start to get a bit more worried. But round 1 on camera, that is a way to start your day for sure if you want some confidence.
Also, if there's a determination.
Well played to both players.
We have 10 more rounds of this today.
I know.
This
it's
is
a
so
long
exciting.
day. This is really, really going to be exciting. And you can see a bit behind you. There's like a mezzanine layer, a balcony layer at the top too. There's a secondary room. There's about 400 players here.
And there's a
so-
whole other room around the corner
Yes.
that we can't get on camera.
No, we can't get that one on camera, but we're going to have a huge day in Neverner here. Thanks so much for watching. Again, this is just round 1. This is the 2025 World Championship in Edinburgh, put together by Null Signal Games. My name is Andre, hailing from the Metropolitan Grid.
My name is Cranked, hailing from Madison, Wisconsin.
We got a lot more Netrunner for you today. We're gonna be throwing it to a break. We should be back in about 10 minutes. At that point too, we'll be able to like dissect a bit of the standings, but more accurately also what sort of factions and what the field looks like today, because we don't honestly know quite yet. But with that, don't go anywhere. We'll be back. You're watching the Netrunner 2025 World Championship.